Hi, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic edition of Spark Your Business. Today's episode, we're going to go over what I'm calling Spark Your Number. So it's about figuring out where you are, where you want to go so that you can create a marketing plan, a trust plan, and an overall strategy for your business. So this isn't part of my regular series. So we have the 5-step series. This is actually some pre-work, and you're going to see that it goes into a lot of detail that you have to work on your own. This would be like a full day workshop. And I just want to show you an overview of the things that you need to think about when you're starting your business or when you're in your business, and just to see how do you make it a business that's scalable, that you can grow, that you can hire more people and make a fantastic business out of, so that you can live the life that you want to live. So let's get started. I'm going to do a screen share. And as always, whether you're on YouTube or watching from Google Plus or Facebook, feel free to leave some comments so that I can answer them for you later. Just grabbing the right screen. There we go. Okay, so we're talking about sparking our numbers. So the questions we're going to be answering are: where are you now and where do you want to be? What are you going to offer? Who's already doing that? What are your costs and what is your customer worth? So this series, like I mentioned before, was actually created because I've been talking to a lot of new entrepreneurs, and sometimes they would have a great business that they love doing, but their numbers didn't work, or they hadn't seen the whole picture, so they didn't see how their business might not be set up in the way that that's sustainable. So the first thing we're going to look at is where are you now compared to where you want to be. And if you figure out that metric, then you know how to get to where you want to be. So it's really important to take inventory of what you're doing right now. So if you do a market analysis, so this is a lot of information, but I'm going to show you how to break it down really easily, so in something that you can see. So we want to talk about what are the benefits to your customer. You want to think about the pain or problem that you're solving. You want to have an idea of what your marketplace is like. So is this something that a lot of people will benefit from, or is it just a really small thing that you're going to do for like a year and then you're going to move on to something else? So even if the market isn't big, you need to know these things to give you an idea of where you are or what kind of business you're going to run. Where are your customers getting what you're offering right now? What kind of different things are they getting? So for example, if you're like a movie theater, what you want to compare yourself to is what other entertainment is out there. So people are going to pick the movie theater. It's not that you're competing with all movie theaters, is that you're competing with people going to a restaurant, people going to work out after work, things like that. So where are your customers? How are you going to find them? Why would they buy from you? And how many of those customers that you're identifying are going to buy from you? And then here's some other things that sometimes people don't consider. So what external factors influence your industry? So for example, people who were selling email lists last year can't do that anymore because of new government regulations. So how does the government or the industry affect what you do? How long will this opportunity last? So is this like something you have to do right now because there's a new law change coming up, or is it something that can last forever? Or is it something that's coming up and you want to get ready for it? What keeps new competition from entering the market? So this one's important to see. So if you're starting something new, who else can do that? And how is it hard to get into the market? And if it's not, you're going to have a lot of competitors. So you want to think about all those different things. And is this a product or service that can be expanded? So can you grow? Those are all really important questions to ask. In terms of human resources, that's you right now. So is this business right for me? What are my interests? What are my values? Do my skills and abilities fit the business? So when we're talking about values, it's really important because in the end, you'll figure out that all your values relate to your business. So they'll relate to the people that you want to hire, the way that you want to sell your product. It's all going to be based on your values, because that's kind of a long-term way to see your business, and it's going to keep you in it for the long term. So if your business is just like working for a company and your values don't align with them, after a while, you just won't be able to do it anymore. What are the skills that you need that you might not have? So you might have to hire people, or you might have to learn the skills. If you're a really savvy entrepreneur, you're going to want to do what you do best and then bring a team around you. So you want to identify those skills or things that you need that you currently don't have. And then again, who would I need to hire, when, and how much would it cost? So we're going to look at a business model canvas to look at how we can lay this all out in an easy way. And I'm going to show you how to fill that out. So we're doing another screen share. And here's the business model canvas. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're just going to go section by section. So, so this is, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So you can see the whole thing, and then we'll go into sections. So the business model canvas, there's a standard business model canvas that a lot of MBAs or different business people use, and I've actually modified it based on my experience as an entrepreneur and the best way to explain or pull out what's great about your company. So I have some techniques around the solution you provide and the problem you solve, and we're gonna look at that in the next series. So that's next week, but I want to talk about it now so that you can start thinking about it. So the solution you provide, the questions here are, if you think of your greatest success story, you think of one particular customer that you've worked with. What specific results did they get from working with you? And then what other transformations happened in their life because of these results? So you want to think about all those solutions that you provide your customer, and we're going to do a workshop on that next week. The other one is the problem you solve. What was your customer struggling with? What might have happened to your customer if they didn't work with you? And what are the short-term or long-term consequences of your customer not working with you? So you can fill those in just with some ideas that you might have, but again, we're going to really go into that because that's it's really important for your marketing later to really identify the solution you provide or the problem you solve in words that your customer uses and understands. So out of the solution you provide and the problem you solve, you're going to fill out your value proposition. So this is the summarizing the transformation you provide. So we'll fill that out right here. And then we have key resources. So that's what we were talking about just now. What are your key resources? What does your business require in order to run? What are the human resources or the customer relationships that you have that's unique to your business? And we just talked about that. So human resources. So maybe you're like an amazing painter and you have this art for customers. So the key resource there is you and your talent. Customer relationships. So maybe you have a relationship with this amazing group of women. So if you're the painter who are art collectors, so you have an amazing relationship with an art collector or an art gallery. So that gives you a good advantage over your competitor. We're going to go back up here for key partners. So who might be your key partners and suppliers, and what activities do your partners perform? So with key partners, you want to look at who can you partner with. So who are the influencers in your industry? So if we're talking about that painter, some influencers might be, so for example, people who buy art, I can make it like a little analogy here. People who buy art like to go to fundraisers. So maybe some key partners would be that you can showcase your work at a silent auction. Key partners, so who else buys art? Maybe people who like expensive jewelry might buy art. So those are like different influencers in your industry or in where your customers hang out. We're going to move to the side here to customer segments. And so this is finding out who your customers are. So who are you creating value for and who are the most important customers? And when you're talking about customer segments, so these can be different segments. So a painter, an artist might target corporate customers. So that's a customer segment that you can go into and think about, and where would you find them and who are they? You can target nonprofits because they might showcase your work or they might buy it for their walls. And then there's the end customer. You might target them, or you might target maybe golf courses to showcase your work. I've seen art at cafes. So again, these are different customer segments. Next, we want to look at channels, which is down here. So how are you going to reach your customers, and how are you going to reach your key influencers, or are you going to reach your customers through your key influencers? Where are they? So channels might be Facebook, LinkedIn, they might be magazines. So it's all the areas that you can reach your customer, and you want to make an inventory of all the places where you can do that. And you can inventory key influencers because here they're a channel. So if you want to reach 1,000 people on somebody's email database, your key influencer would be your channel to do that. In the middle, we have key metrics. That's really important. So what are you going to track to know that you're achieving success? So one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs miss is that they don't track their success metrics, or when things are going wrong, how do you know they're going wrong? So so say you send a Facebook post. There's so many stats online now that you can track. You send a Facebook post, how many people read it, and then how many people called you because of it. So you need to track all that, have a little spreadsheet and say, okay, every time I send a Facebook post, I get a new customer. So what does that mean? That maybe I should be putting a strategy around writing posts, like blog posts on Facebook. And you can even check what kind of posts get people to call you back. So if I just write a comment about my dog, maybe that doesn't get you any new customers. Maybe it does. But if you write a blog post about, so back to the artist, so what kind of oils she or he uses to paint, so maybe that got customers. Or maybe if the artist wrote an article about all the different ways you can display art or where you can display it, and that got more customers, then you want to write more articles about that. So that's where key metrics comes in, and you want to make sure you have Google Analytics on your website, and that you're tracking how many people you meet when you go out networking, and how many people you call, and things like that. At the bottom of our business model canvas is our cost structure. So what are the important costs to having our business? Which key resources are most expensive, and which key activities are most expensive? And the reason you want to know that is because you want to know how to reduce your costs as much as possible and figure out a way. So say you're writing a blog post for your own business, and your time is worth like $150 an hour, because when you're working on as an artist, when you're working on your painting, you're going to make more money, for example, than writing a blog post that might take you 2-3 hours just because it's not your thing. So those are resources, and you might want to outsource those important things that you need to do to grow your business. Those are key activities and key resources. So another resource might be your space that you paint out of. So maybe you've decided you want to be in an artist space, and because you're going to meet people there, so you got to track, okay, am I actually meeting people? Am I getting customers out of this space, or should I move home? Revenue streams on this side, what are your customers willing to pay? What do they currently pay, and how are they paying? How would they prefer? So you want to think about all the different ways to get paid, to get money. Do you do packages? Does the artist sell 10 paintings at once, or is it one by one? What's the model, and how are you going to make money? So that's the business model canvas, and we'll talk about each of these little areas in a second here. So we just want to talk about the whole canvas at once, and then I'm going to show you how you can think about filling it out. So back to our presentation. So we've done a review of the business model canvas. Next, we want to talk about where do you want to be. So you're making an inventory of where you are now, and you want to think about where you're going so that you can make those, so that you can measure and so that you can make a plan to where you're going. So we're going to look at a client attraction formula. So for those of you in my Spark Your Business Bootcamp, I'm going to send you all these sheets so that you can fill them out yourself. I'm going to do another screen share to my client attraction formula. You get to see me in between every screen share. Put that back up. There we go. So this is a total formula for client attraction. So again, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so again, I'm going to give these sheets out so you can work on it. Oh, this is better. There we go. Okay, so the point of the client attraction formula is that you want to look at what your goals are, what the space is in between what you're doing now and what your goal is, and then how to get there. So for example, I'm going to say I'm a business coach and my goal is to have $6,000 a month. So this is the example that doesn't change, and this is your business coach. She wants to make $6,000 a month. So currently she's only got one client and she's got $350 a month. So the difference between $6,000 and $350 is $5,650. So that's the goal that we're working towards. So your fastest path to cash is, what is your highest product worth? So the product that you sell most. So say the coach sells $1,000 package. So 10 coaching sessions for $1,000. So let's just change this to $1,000. And how many new clients do you need to meet your monthly revenue? So this automatically calculates. So it's the difference between the difference that you're trying to get to and what's your highest product value. So she needs 6 clients a month to get to that goal. So what does she need to do? She needs to talk to a certain number of people to get that goal. So how many clients do you need to meet your revenue? It's the same number as above. So it's 6 clients. So the business coach needs 6 clients. The number of strategy sessions. So for every client, how many strategy sessions do you have? So So we're going to have 3 strategy sessions to change each client. So we're working backwards from the top. So instead of saying, okay, I just need to meet 100 people this week and I'm going to get some sales out of it, you want to actually figure out the numbers behind everything. So she needs to have 3 strategy sessions to get 6 clients. So sorry, let me say that again. For every strategy session, she has 3. For every 3 clients you have a strategy session with, 1 will become a paying client. So that means her conversion rate is 33%. So what that means, so in number 7 here, is that she needs to put 17 people through a strategy session in order to get 6 clients out of it. Okay, so we'll keep working backwards here. The number of potential clients. So for every potential client you ask to give a strategy session, how many say yes? So again, this is our conversion. So we're going to say 1 in 3 people say yes. So there's the 3 there, or 33%. And then what does that mean? Working backwards again, how many people do you need to ask for them to become a potential client? So you need to talk to 51 people, and then 1 out of 3 of those people will go into a strategy session, and 1 out of 3 of those people will become that high-end client. Okay, so maybe the 51 people are like, you talk to 51 people at a networking event, and then 1 in 3 are like, oh yeah, I want to learn more about what you do. So you pull them into your strategy session, that's 17 people, and then 1 in 3 will say, yes, I want to buy your high-end package. So that's 6. So let's keep going with this example. You've got your timeline. So how many days do you want to reach your goal? So you can have 60 days or 90 days, and the formula changes depending on that. The number of people you need to ask on the daily basis is 1. So in this case, the coach needs to talk to 1 person every day. So for example, if we change this to, okay, I want to make that amount of money in 60 days. Oops. She needs to talk to 1 person. We change it to 30 days. She needs to talk to 2 people a day. Okay, so that's how the formula works. So achieving your goals online. So when we're talking about this, the whole picture here, a lot of it is done online. So what you need to do is figure out how many people to attract to your website. So if you're trying to have a goal of $6,000 a month, your highest product we said was 1,000. You need to sell 6 units or 6 sessions to get to that goal. And now here's where all the metrics come in. So if your sales page gets an 8% conversion, then you need 75 people to your sales page. If your blog gets a 25% conversion, you need 300 people on your blog each month. Okay, and if your, say your keywords, your total searches get a 10% conversion, that means you need 3,000 people searching to get to your blog, to get to your sales page, to get to your strategy session. Does that, I hope that makes sense. So for example, so again, when I talked about the Facebook page, so how many, when you post a blog or a comment or something valuable on your Facebook page, how many people click over to your website? So that's where all these numbers come in. So they click over to your website, they read the full blog. So here it is. And then 25% of those people will go to your sales page. So here it is. And then that's how many you need to get 6 people to sign up for the strategy session, for example. So it doesn't have to go right to the big package. So maybe you need people to sign up to the strategy session. And that's where this formula here kicks in. So those are part of the 17 people that go to the strategy session, and then you sell them onto your bigger package. So that this works for any business. So whether it's a coach or a makeup artist or a furniture designer, what this is you change the word strategy session to, so for example, the makeup artist might do, the strategy session is her makeup parties, and then she will have a package where she's doing more one-on-one work, and that's her big package, and that's where she wants to get those 6 clients into. The furniture designer wants to have a strategy session for interior decorators or her target market, and so she needs to talk to this many people to get them into some kind of a meeting. So a strategy session could also be like a demo, a one-on-one, all kinds of stuff. And this is how the numbers work. So to figure out your conversion rate, because you're only going to know your conversion rate based on your own statistics, it's how many clients you have, and then divided by how many strategy sessions convert into those clients. And that's where you figure out your conversion rate. So these are hypothetical percentages. All the blue numbers our hypothetical percentages here. And that's what you're going to know after doing a couple of strategy sessions or having a couple of demos and see, okay, and when you track everything, you'll know, okay, this, I talked to this many people this month, and this is how many people actually called me on the phone to talk more about my business, and now this is how many clients I have. And that is so important, because you don't know what you're doing right or wrong if you're not tracking your numbers. So that is the client attraction formula. It's a really cool formula.